Hey guys, welcome to the think tank. Good to see you. So, what do you guys think of all that's been going on? Right now, what I've decided to do, I started a little bit yesterday with Mexi, is try and go back a little bit and take a look at what was being said, who they were looking at, and kind of see if we can make sense out of anything that's been going on out there. So I do have some documents as far as Ron Logan goes and some articles. Hey, JJ. Hello, Mexi, Shauna, Dandy. Welcome, welcome. So yeah, I think that's probably my best bet to try and find any kind of sense out of what's been going on. It does kind of reek of cover up, possibly. I'm not sure what is going on, but something major. How come this is in my eyes? Which one's that from? Up there? Let me fix this. Dog? Is that any better, guys? So I think what I want to do first is maybe look at a couple of the articles. Watch out, Lizzie. A couple of the articles before I get into documents. Even the FBI was doing searches of Ron Logan's properties. So I've got that documentation as well. And then I thought, we'll just kind of poke around and take a look at that area again between Ron Logan's place and where these vehicles were allegedly at, where the girls were at. Try and figure out where they actually moved, like they were trying to say, because really, who unalives two girls, takes their bodies away, and then waits for everyone to leave so they can return them and pose them makes no sense in my brain. It just doesn't make sense in my brain. So, yeah. And this is the thing. We do have to go back. Ron Logan did give a false alibi to hide his driving while banned. Most foolish, but no real evidence against him. Yeah. He's sus. That's the biggest thing. You know, it reeks of corruption. I'm not saying that's what's going on, but it reeks of corruption. I'm going to try moving this light. Trying to get them figured out. This one a little higher. Any better, guys? Or do I look like an alien? Look at my eyes. So, but why was his alibi for the exact time the girls would have gone missing when his alibi should have been for the morning when he was driving? And the thing is he had made this alibi the day the girls went missing, not the day they were found. So he's giving this, I don't know. Everything he did was suspicious that morning. You know, why are you getting someone to say you were out of town? He had driven you out of town at the exact time that this happened with the girls. It's not making a lot of sense. So maybe we can make sense out of some of this. Just a silly criminal trying to hide some non-important, possibly. Very well. What king of an unaliver would leave that's it on his property? Doesn't make sense. You'd be leading them straight to your door. Well, so yeah, the property was not fenced off. And if they're saying, because one of the things that I was reading was that LE stated that they figure that they were moved, that their bodies were moved and then taken back. So they're saying that area had already been searched. So they're saying that this person took them someplace and then went through all the effort to bring them back and put them in that spot. Well, That's not anywhere near normal, is it? You would think that if someone took them, they would go into a vehicle is the best way to get rid of him, unless someone's down there riding a horse. And then he goes around, he unalives them, comes back and parks and takes these bodies there. There's nothing about that that makes sense. Yeah, who does that? It's just there's some suspicious things going around as far as that goes as well, you know? So we'll take a look at one of the articles, I think. So we're just going through this stuff. This isn't to say that he's guilty. This is not to say anything along those lines. This is just literally to see if we can find anything at all in these articles that make any sense to what we know at this point. You know, so it's not necessarily we're looking at strictly him, but we are looking at what everybody was saying around that time, right? You know how small towns work? This was only 3,000 people. That's a small, small spot. So, you know how the rumor mill goes, especially in these spots. So, let's take a look at Ron Logan and just try and look at the facts, I guess, as we know them, and really be careful and pay attention to what is being said by him at the time, by the cops at the time. You're probably right, JJ, but we're just trying to look back with fresh eyes and see how it all fits. I think RL was the local idiot. Someone was trying to make him a patsy, in my opinion. Yeah, it is. It's just worth a second look. That's the only reason that I'm doing this. It's not to put any shade on him. He's passed away. He got COVID and passed away. This is just basically looking for the breadcrumbs that might be within some of these articles, some of these documents that the cops, you know, their warrants to see what they were looking for, things like that. You know, it gives you a little bit of an idea as to what law enforcement was actually looking for. I can definitely lean towards that. From what we know, there is E is not a connection with Ron, Richard, or Ron and the Kleins. Why make him a patsy other than you knew he was the village patsy? So let's see. I'll take a look at this here for you first, friends. So FBI search warrant reveals Delphi Bridge took items of clothing from the two of the girls as souvenirs, while key suspect got cousin to lie about an alibi before he passed in 2020. So the Delphi Bridge guy took clothes from his two teenage victims after deleting them, according to a 2017 affidavit that also reveals that the key suspect, who now has passed, told his cousin to lie and give an alibi to the police. The news came days after local police in Delphi, Indiana, released the picture of a man walking along the bridge in relation to the attacking of the teens, Libby German, 14, and Abby Williams, 13, on February 13th, 14th, 2017. So they're saying that they do believe Abby survived until the following day. They're saying she probably lasted until about 9:30 before she passed. So that's why you see things where Libby says 13th and Abby says 14th, is they do believe there's a possibility that it was a slow death for her. The affidavit suggests the bodies had been staged and that the deleter may not have only gotten DNA on himself due to the way this was carried out, but that he also took 2 pieces of clothing from the girls that were described as souvenirs. And we know that's very common. New information on the case also reveals that he may have taken pictures of the crimes, that the victims did not struggle or fight with the perpetrator at the time of their passing. And it's funny because you hear that, but then I've also read that they take pictures. Because if that's the case, those could be very big leaks. So, yeah, they're saying they did not struggle or fight, where I hear Abby was pretty much put in a position where she wasn't going to escape. And then with Libby, it sounds like he paid more attention when it comes to harming her. And by the sounds of things, from what they were saying, she did put up a fight. So I'm not sure. They're saying that there's possible DNA under Libby's nails. Logan also lied about his alibi to police, according to the affidavit, knowing that he had told investigators on the day of February 13th that a friend had picked him up and driven him to a store between 2 p.m. and 3:30 p.m. How handy. So this here, they're trying to show similarities. He actually looks taller, doesn't he? So he got around that property pretty good. He may have been not a spring chicken, but we've seen him tootle around through there pretty fast. Some say that there's a limp in that walk. I'm not sure. So Logan reached out to a family member the following morning on February 14th and asked them to tell the police about his trip the previous day and say he returned home between 5 p.m. and 5:30 p.m. The family member Logan asked to lie for him told police Logan's lie on March 7th, 2017. I'm sorry. Then 2 days later admitted he lied because Logan asked him to add that Logan had never asked him to lie in the past. Investigators noted that Logan appeared to have asked family members to lie for him before the crime had even been discovered. So why? That's very interesting. The warrant wrote that Logan made statements that were found to be factually false and intentionally designed to deceive. Allegedly, this is the first time she has crossed this bridge. A search of Logan's property on March 17th turned up a receipt time-stamped 5:21 p.m. from a town 30 minutes away from his house, making his return home at the time let me see here. Returned home at the time he reported his alibi doubtful. Cell phone data also revealed Logan to be in Delphi and near Monon High Bridge, where the girls went missing on the afternoon of the disappearance. In April of 2017, Logan was arrested after he confessed to violating a parole-related. Let me see what that says. Aerial traffic violations. Police never disclosed how Williams and German, believed to have been close friends, passed after being stalked by their killer on a hiking trail. Indiana State Police said in February they know who deleted the girls, but said they have insufficient evidence to make the arrest. Is that right? Is that right? That bridge is so long. 63 feet long and is Indiana's second tallest bridge. So, yeah, I don't know how you watch fish off there. I don't know. I guess I don't have the talent. Well, Mixie, thank you very much. Nice, thank you. Ah, Dandy, nice, nice. Love to see that. I just love to see it. Keep our troops. Okay, so let's see here. FBI investigators believe the two young friends Deleter took a souvenir from their corpses to provide a warped memento to his appalling crimes. The warrant offered no other detail on what the souvenir was, although it did say that the rest of the girls' clothing was recovered, implying that the killer had taken something they'd been wearing. And sickeningly, the Deleter staged the girls' bodies in a particular way after deleting them, although it remains unclear exactly how he did this. Investigators believe photos or videos were likely shot of the grotesque setup. Now, how is that grotesque setup? And who took photos and videos? And what would make them think that? What would make them think that? So, Ron Logan was the owner of the land where the girls were discovered. They were about 1,400 feet from Logan's front door. Logan was arrested shortly after, but was never charged and passed away in 2020. He was a habitual traffic offender who served time behind bars for those crimes, but was not considered a suspect in the passing of Williams and German. In the 2017 deleting of Abby 13 and Libby 14 became notorious after investigators released chilling footage the girls recorded of a man approaching them across the Monon High Bridge in the woods of Delphi, Indiana. The brief snippet of audio was released of the man saying "down the hill." The full clip is 43 seconds long, but its contents are believed to be too disturbing to share in full. Now, isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Why you go way over there? Damn it. So again, is this possibly stuff that's been leaked? The voice clip was described as not being inconsistent with Logan. The FBI investigation concluded. A brief clip of the man walking towards the girl on the Monon High Bridge Trail was released too. In March, Keegan Kline was named as a possible suspect in the girl's passing. So we will be taking a bigger look at Keegan Kline too, and his dad. Like, what? So 77, I do believe. Let's see. Doesn't say. Search property of Ron Williams. Sorry, guys. I take notes all the way through this just to kind of keep my head straight. Tempted, but Klein 27. Okay. Okay, it looks like the rest is on Keegan, so we can do that another time, right? Hey, Melissa. Good to see you, friend. This case. Well, hello, Perry. Good to see you, friend. Welcome, welcome. FBI agents believed clothing and bodies were staged in Delphi search warrant. Inciting reasons for the search warrant, an FBI agent said pieces of one of the victims' clothing were missing, and it appears that the bodies were staged. We'll take a fast look at some of this, but these larger ones, there's
in Delphi, and about a man investigators thought might be responsible for the crime.
The bodies of Abby Williams and Libby German were found 5 years ago, and their murders still remain unsolved tonight. Today, 13 investigators obtained a search warrant that's a request related to this investigation.
So this again, let's see, is very early, May 17th, 2020. So this is basically still a couple years later, but we're not as informed at this point still as much as we are now.
Here, investigative reporter Bob Siegel says the document sheds new light on the murders.
A month after Abby and Libby were murdered, an FBI special agent asked a judge to authorize a search warrant of the massive property where the...
So again, we've got that search warrant. So if we're looking here, when the bridge crosses, he went down in here, crossed at some point, and they were found kind of around this bend here.
The bodies were found. The property was owned by Ronald Logan, and 13 News was there when officers served Logan a search warrant in March of 2017.
So again, something else that I'm really curious about. Okay, I understand why they searched his property. Absolutely, the girls were found there. And it sounds like maybe Ron Logan was his own person, let's put it that way. But I'm curious about those other neighbors that were right there as well. You know, when they say that this was on his property, I mean, barely on his property. He was like, they were almost at the intersection of the two properties.
The FBI got permission to search the entire property, including Logan's home, garage, his pickup truck, computers, and cell phones. Now we know exactly why the judge granted the warrant. In her request, the FBI agent wrote, "I believe there is probable cause to believe that Ronald Logan has committed..."
So again, they are believing that there is probable cause.
That has not been released before. The FBI agent confirmed one of the victims was missing an article of clothing. There was no visible signs of a struggle or fight. At the crime scene, investigators recovered fibers and unidentified hairs. And the agent wrote, it also appeared the girls' bodies were moved and staged.
So when they say this, moved and staged, what do you guys think? How far have they actually been moved? I mean, they're trying to say, I heard yesterday in something Mexi and I were looking at, that they believe that she was taken out of that area, put in a vehicle and deleted probably in the vehicle, and then taken back down, go park back there, and then go down and placed them the way they were. I don't understand.
By whoever committed the murder. Now, as far as the FBI's interest in Logan, first, you might remember this chilling video that was recovered from Libby's cell phone. State police believe it shows the murder suspect telling the girls to go down the hill. State police released.
So as we're looking at that, now we've seen pictures of Ron Logan standing beside, and he honestly does seem taller. He honestly does. He seems like he's taller than Bridge Guy, which would put you back again to probably looking at the man that's 5'4". So earlier in the Delphi investigation, FBI agents believed a possible suspect in 13-year-old Abby Williams and 14-year-old Liberty German's passing lived at a property near where their bodies were found. It stands to reason. I mean, it can be looked at that way. Let's put it that way. Or it's also, it could have happened right there in that spot, and that during their search the previous night, they missed him. It's possible. It is truly, truly a possible thing. And then there's one lady that say her and her friends stayed out the night, and she heard screams allegedly. Now, I don't know how that could happen, but they're saying that they heard some screams. Citing the reasons for the search warrant, the FBI agent noted that pieces of clothing that of the victims were missing, and that it appeared the girls were moved and staged. There was no visible signs of a struggle or a fight. The agent suspects a souvenir that may have been taken, which is common, of course. They're talking about fibers and hairs. And FBI also noted that 77-year-old Logan appeared to be in good physical shape, and his voice was not inconsistent with the voice captured on Libby German's phone. They're saying there 43 seconds.
Thanks for inviting us in. Tonight, a leaked document for the early days of the Delphi investigation gives new insight into where investigators had their focus. Shares grim details about the crime scene and the police interest in the man who owned the property where those two teen girls were found. Tonight, our Lauren Kostick begins our
We also spoke with him multiple times, and he even walked us back to the crime scene.
I can't really wrap my emotions around it yet. It's just so mind-boggling. I haven't really caught up. It hasn't caught up with me yet.
But recently, the podcast Murder Sheet about the crime scene, saying one of the victims was missing an article of clothing. There were no visible signs of a struggle or fight. Investigators also recovered fibers and unidentified hairs, and it also appeared the girls' bodies were moved and staged.
That's the thing. How far do you think that they could have been moved? What do you like? I mean, ole. Coming back up here. Yeah, cops said a lot of things. Isn't that the truth? No sign of a struggle. I'm not really surprised by that. Like I said, I did read something that says that Libby fought back. I have heard that. But then I've also heard that there has been no sign of a fight. And I was also reading something that said that they had all these footprints around there, and we haven't heard of that. So I'd love to know a little bit more about the footprints that were in that area and how many. I also heard that there's possibly 4 different people as far as DNA goes. Again, none of this is confirmed. It's just random stuff that I have heard. So this is where I say do your own research when it comes to this type of thing, because as we know, not everybody's honest, but I do like to put it out there just to kind of throw it into the mix so we can jumble it around in our brains and decide ourselves, right? You know, I don't know, James, and it makes no sense, does it, friend? I mean, in my personal opinion, I can't see where that is going to hurt the case at this point. So leaving that to everybody's imagination again, is that really the best way to go about this? Make people wonder and guess? State police won't comment on the Delphi search warrant. A woman who had been in a relationship with Logan years earlier told law enforcement that Logan had been physically abusive, threatened that he would unalive her and no one would find her body, and that Logan carried a gun with him everywhere he went in a fanny pack. Isn't that interesting? In a fanny pack. She told the agent that when she first saw the image of the suspect, she thought it was Logan. Another woman who has been in a relationship with Logan told law enforcement she heard that the bodies were found near Logan's home. She believed he was involved. Okay. I'm going to take another look over here. And we'll go through this. We'll look at some documents. Let's see what rumors were going around, because a lot of times there's a little bit of honest in that stuff, isn't there? So new details. When is this from? May 29th, 2022. So we do have to look at what was published back then. It's the only way that we're going to be able to figure out if there's any truth at the very, very beginning. Because, you know, when it's fresh in those small towns, this is when you start to hear things. And a lot of times, I mean, my personal experience in some rough small towns is basically everybody knows. You know, if there's somebody that you have to be aware of, basically the whole area knows. And from what we're learning, they're trying to put him as kind of a whack job, right? Search warrants were ordered for Ron Logan, who owned the property where the girls were found. Rest in peace, young ladies. Ron Logan. Electronic devices and storage media were also sought after by the FBI, according to the warrant obtained by Fox. Logan's home, outbuildings, and vehicles will be searched by the ages for anything in connection to the girls' passing, including forensic evidence, hair, fluids, and weapons. Other details were provided by the warrant that wasn't originally revealed to the public. Abby Williams, 13, Libby German, 14, were walking on the Monon High Bridge Trail February 13th, 2017. They were supposed to be picked up by a family member, I think at about 3:13, but they did not show up. He started looking, and then he started calling the family in, and then the law was there. The teens' bodies were found the next day. Authorities have never released details on how they passed. A photo of a heavyset suspect in a blue jacket was released to the public, along with an audio clip of the voice saying "down the hill." I'm still with you, James. Like, let's hear facts. Let's see. So this here is the search warrant. And this is from the Carroll County to Nicole Robertson, FBI. This was March 17th, 2017, and was put in the Carroll Circuit County Court. So you are authorized and ordered in the name of State of Indiana with the necessary and proper assistance to enter Ron Logan's entire property located at redacted Delphi, Carroll County, Indiana, described as a white 2-story single family dwelling, including his detached garage, outbuildings, and a white Ford F-250, gives the VIN number, for evidence related to the passing of Liberty German and Abby Williams, and diligent search for the following items. So any and all evidence pertaining to deleting, including clothes, forensic evidence, blood, see and unseen. Hair, bodily fluids, seen and unseen, fibers, weapons, including guns and cutting instruments, electronic devices used to produce the cellular signal detected by law enforcement in the area at the scene of the crime, animal hair samples. Computers and computer equipment, digital storage devices, tape, cassette, cartridges, streaming tape, commercial software, hardware, computer disks, flash drives, disk drives, monitors, computer printers, modems, tape drives, disk application programs, data disks, system disk operating systems, magnetic floppy disks, magnetic media floppy disks, computer software, hardware and software operating manuals, tape systems and hard drives, and other computer-related operation equipment. Digital cameras, scanners, in addition to computer photographs, graphic interchange formats, or photographs, undeveloped photograph films, slides, and other visual depictions of such graphic interchange format equipment, and the data stored within these materials, which has been used or may have been used to store evidence of the crime. Research ways to conceal crime, or is that all we get? All righty. Well, hello, Mel. Good to see you, friend. Welcome, welcome. So this here is Nicole Robertson. So we know from up here she is FBI. Nicole Robertson, FBI. So Nicole Robertson, let me get this back here. Nicole Robertson swears or affirms that she believes and has good cause to believe evidence of a passing is located in the residence of Ronald Logan, located at redacted. So it goes through the same information we just looked at. Described as a white two-story family dwelling situated in Carroll County. It has an detached garage, outbuildings, and they want his Ford F-250. They give the VIN number. Nicole Robertson, a special agent with the Federal Bureau of Investigation, have been employed as such for 12 years. Prior to her employment as an FBI agent, Nicole Robertson was employed as a South Village, Illinois police officer for approximately 6 years. Nicole Robertson is assigned to the Merrittville Resident Agency and currently participates in the investigation of violent crimes. How you guys doing in there? I'll come back. How are you doing? Ah, there you go, right? I wonder if the scanner could have been used to listen to radio chit chat. I heard the video was actually 40 minutes long. I don't know about the 40 minutes long, but everything I've seen recently states the audio video is longer than what the family was allowed to listen to. Wonder if that shack was searched that evening or day, possibly held a hostage in it until a day later. You know, that's a really good question, Dandy, because on top of that, there's more than one shack out there. There was, but they've all been taken down. Go figure. I've heard a video play for at least 40 minutes. 36 seconds, if I remember correctly. They could have cut the audio, but showed him walking across the bridge. Yeah, and I think it's in the affidavit that it's, we'll have to look again. According to the warrant, there are 43 seconds of video showing being followed by a man investigators believe to be Allen. Okay. Well, I don't think he's bridge guy, but you can hide him guy. That could be. I heard Libby fought back. She was like, yeah, that's what I heard. I heard the same thing, friend. I did, Melissa. She fought and wouldn't leave Abby. Some sort of sign. Yes. I don't think it's Richard Allen. Yeah, I've always been pretty firm on that, but with the stuff that's been popping up now, I'm rethinking everything. And that's why I'm going over all of this, is just to go over it, take notes, anything I missed, we missed, point it out, keep it in my notes, and just carry on with it. You know, next guy I really want to look at is going to be Keegan Kline and Tony Kline. If that's what the audio is, the crime happening, I can understand why it wouldn't be released. After interview with Hannah, Toby looked nervous. And I know for sure the audio they have comes from a video also where BG comes in, where Bridge Guy comes in, but that video was taken off the phone app camera itself. I've always thought Toby or Ron Logan. So do you think there's a possibility that it's Toby and Ron Logan? And somebody's got contact with Keegan Kline? Yes, Mexi, like they could hear what could have happened. Lesenby, I think. Toby Lesenby. Got it. Why didn't they take the phone in a hurry, forgot about that unspent round from the chamber, and Abby actually saying he has a gun, and he loads more, I just bet. That would not be surprising. How he gave a look when she mentioned Katie, Libby's mom. Becky Patty states that they were allowed to listen to 43 seconds or so and then asked if it was longer. She responded by pointing people to the Holman interview / Alexis McAdams. Yeah, we haven't watched. I haven't either, Mexi. No, I haven't either. And your panda slippers. Okay. All right, so back to this, guys. So, background. On February 13th, 2017, at approximately 1 p.m., juvenile victims, hereafter referred to as LG and AW, were taken to the Monon High Bridge Trail, located in Delphi, Indiana. LG and AW were walking along the trail in the area of County Road 300 North and 575 West, near, and it gives the latitude and longitude, at approximately 2:13 p.m., which was the last time of last contact with LG and AW by a cellular device. The victims were to be picked up by a family member at 3 p.m., and the victims never met with a family member. Approximately 5:30 p.m., was the last successful ping, which really stands out. The cellular phone by AT&T, the victims LG and AW were located deceased on February 14th, 2017 at approximately 12:17 p.m. at the above listed latitude and longitude, having been the victims of M in accordance with Indiana code. What do you guys think? So a suspect has been developed of a white male wearing a blue jacket with a heavy physical build, wearing a cap and blue jeans. The development of the suspect was made by a 43-second video taken on LG's phone. When the suspect follows the victims as they are walking on the Monan High Bridge Trail, near the end of the video, the suspect speaks to the victim saying down the hill. It sounds as though he is directing the victims to leave the trail they were on and enter the wooded area below. No person has come forward and identified himself as the person who met the victims and made a statement in LG's video. Therefore, it's believed that the person in LG's video is the one who participated in their deleting. Images of the suspect have been broadcast on the news media since February 15th, 2017. Hey, Chopper. Good to see you, friend. Images of the suspect have been broadcast. Okay. LG and AW were presumed to have made contact with the unknown male at approximately 2:13 based upon analysis of LG's phone, which recorded the video. On February 14th, 2017, approximately 12:17 p.m., victims LG and AW were found deceased with wounds caused by a redacted. So from what we've learned, again, this is just, we can't, law enforcement isn't going to back it up. But what we've learned is this would be a knife, because they're talking about those type of wounds. At this point, they're talking about these wounds. A lot of blood was lost by the victims, not victim. A large amount of blood was lost by the victims at the crime scene because of the nature of the victims' wounds. It is nearly certain the perpetrator of the crime would have gotten this on his person or clothing. So they're saying a lot on the victims, not on a victim, on the victims. So we're going to have to see if we can figure out what that might mean. So the location of the crime scene is approximately 1,400 feet from Ron Logan's residence. Logan is a 77-year-old male. Logan's physical build is consistent with that of a male suspect. Video, here we go, is consistent with that of the male suspect videoed by LG on the Monan High Trail. Logan owns farmland and cares for large animals. Logan appears to be in good physical condition. Logan has been interviewed several times. His voice is not inconsistent. In other words, consistent, right? So it was also discovered that 2 pieces of clothing of one of the victims was missing from the crime scene, while the rest of the clothing was recovered. It also appears that they had been moved and staged. So, okay, how far do you think this person is going to move them? Realistically, I don't see it. I just don't. Yeah, and who starts? That's a very good question. But at the same time, it's not unheard of, right? Who's that guy that was locking that daughter and all of her kids in the basements? And oh boy, Yeah, I hope so too. I really do. I mean, he wants it. So we'll see if the new lawyers agree with that, right? We'll see. No, 1,400 feet. 1,400 feet. Yeah, they were. They were. Super sweet chat. We really have awesome people in here. We do. We are so lucky, Shauna. Like, are the people that are coming around more and more often are so, they fit in, right? I just love it. I just love it. I'm very happy with everybody. I feel blessed to have met everybody that's joining in. Again, I say this lots, but the different ideas that people come up with, the little seed that might just get you maybe looking at something else that you hadn't thought of. I personally think we have the best think tank out there, the best mods, the best subs. I mean, crazy not to join us. So subscribe and hit that bell and that thumb. Yeah, this case is, let's see here. This is exactly it. Keegan Klein. Yep. So it was also discovered that 2 pieces of clothing were missing from the scene, moved and staged. But again, how far? Do you really think with everything that's going on that somebody's going to take these girls up to their vehicle, do what it was done, and then one by one you take them back down that hill and start planting them there and doing whatever you do? I don't see it. I don't see it. They're also talking that there was a lot of DNA around that area. So based on my training and experience, it is common for perpetrators of this type of crime to take a souvenir or in some fashion memorialize the crime by either photos or electronic or digital methods that are downloaded onto a computer, storage devices, tablets, phones, iPad devices, and other electronic devices. LG and AW had no visible signs of a struggle or fight. So what does this mean? That this happened fast, right away? You know, did he immobilize Abby first, and then he had time to work on Libby? Because it's sounding like Libby took the brunt of this. Although, rest in peace, Abby, she did not pass right away. They are saying that it was 9 o'clock in the morning, past 9 o'clock in the morning. During the process of the crime scene, investigators located unknown fibers and unidentified hairs that may later be used for comparison similar fibers or hairs. So we have heard that they had possibly animal fur as well. So that may be why, if they did indeed dig up an unalived cat from Richard Allen's, that would be why. I don't know if that's just a rumor or what, but it's like, what? So Logan owns numerous weapons, including handguns and knives, that were observed by law enforcement during the execution of the search warrant that took place on his property on March 6, 2017. Logan came home and was searched as a result of his probation violation. He was not supposed to be driving to pick up fish, to pick up anything. He had lost his license. So February 14th at approximately 9:20, Logan contacted his cousin, who's redacted. Logan asked redacted to tell the police that redacted came to Logan's house between 2 p.m. and 2:30 p.m. February 13th, 2017, to pick Logan up. Logan further told Redacted to say that Redacted drove Logan to an aquarium store in Lafayette, Indiana. Logan told Redacted to say they returned home to Logan's house between 5 and 5:30. So why would he be doing this before the remains had even been found? Before they even found these girls, why is he making this alibi with his cousin? February 14th, 2017, while requesting consent to search Logan's property, the law enforcement officer advised Logan that LEOs would not search his home unless evidence led law enforcement to Logan's house. In the meeting, Logan told the law enforcement officer that he did not think evidence would lead him to that, but said, "I don't know." What? A receipt from Aquarium World in Lafayette, dated February 13th, 2017, with a checkout time of 5:21, was found at Logan's home on March 6, 2017, during a probation violation search. You see, he was not charged. Sorry, guys. He was not charged for anything to do with the girls. His charge is he was picked up on warrants, old warrants, and things saying that like he lied. So I mean, they obviously were getting curious about him. He was not supposed to drive. He did, allegedly. Yeah. I know. I know. I agree, Mel. That's where we're at now. That's why we're going way, way back. Yeah, he did. He said he wasn't in that area, but he did this the day before. Like he made his arrangements before. No, he made the arrangements that day before the girls were found. If I remember correctly. Yes, RA was looking at the fishes while RL was out buying bait fishes. Exactly. Yep. Yep, exactly. Melissa, exactly. There is something fishy here. There is. I'm starting to wonder the same thing, Chopper. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I seen where they took her out of court. Her and actually his mom was there too. And yeah, she was very upset. She left the courthouse and was bawling her eyes out, I heard. So the streets are saying, right? Okay, property and law enforcement officer advised Logan that law enforcement would not search. Okay. So a receipt from Aquarium World, we found that. A receipt from the Aquarium World in Lafayette, dated February 13th, 2017, with a checkout time of 5:21 p.m. was found in Logan's home on March 6th during the probation violation search. Logan resided approximately 22 miles from the store. It would take approximately 30 minutes to get to the store from Logan's home. So, this is not unreasonable. On March 6th, 2017, During an interview with law enforcement, Logan said he was picked up by Redacted around 3 p.m. and taken straight to the aquarium store in Lafayette. In March 6, 2017 interview, Logan said he was done at the aquarium store. He had driven straight home. These statements were found to be factually false and intentionally designed to deceive law enforcement. And that's the thing. Why was he being so shady, guys? Like, why? What was he doing all of this for? He should not. It's very suspicious that he would make up a false alibi for the exact time that these girls went missing and for the exact time all of this happened. The searches, everything. I'm chewing on Tums, guys. Sorry, I'm not trying to be rude. I feel for the families involved in this. It's just a mess, Mexi, isn't it? Anyone who would know if their spouse was acting funny and doing something like this would make anyone act funny. You gotta think, right? You gotta think. Probably because they're at square one again. Do you know what? I have not heard nothing from anyone. Exactly, Maxine. Nope, nothing from the families at this point. Yeah, if he didn't do the crime, he should have just been honest. It would have gone better for him. Yeah, right? Where was the wife at this time? I'm not really sure. I assume she'd say she was working, but I am not positive on that. So on March 12th, 2017, Redacted explained in an interview with law enforcement that Logan called him on the morning of February 14th, 2017, and asked him to provide an alibi for Logan driving to the aquarium in Lafayette. This phone call was made prior to law enforcement's discovery of Abby and Libby. So that's weird as F, guys. Like, I do not understand how that alone, I mean, it's making him look guilty. Why are you making an alibi? How would you know you needed one? Like, how in God's green earth would you know that? My word. See why he's still so suspicious? It's all of the BS that he was pouring out. Okay. Redacted said he thought the photograph of the male that was released in the media looked like Logan. Law enforcement learned that Logan had driven on February 13th, 2017 to the transfer station in Delphi, Indiana to drop off trash. Video from the transfer station shows Logan driving his white Ford pickup between 11:27 and 11:32. The video from the transfer station appears to be off by 26 minutes, putting Logan at the transfer station at approximately 11:53, 11 and 11:58. Logan did not ask Redacted to provide an alibi for his drive to the transfer station, see, on February 13th, but he did for the fish, right? Logan only asked to provide an alibi that would occur at the time of the apparent abductions for Abby and Libby. March 8th. Now, they said up here that anything pink is redacted and going to be girlfriend number 1. So on March 8th, 2017, ex-girlfriend was interviewed by law enforcement. Ex-girlfriend 1 met Logan about 7 or 8 years ago. Girlfriend was in personal relationship with Logan for a couple of months and would stay with him at his house on weekends. Ex-girlfriend 1 left Logan after he became physically abusive physically abusive. So, right? During her interview, ex-girlfriend 1 explained that Logan continued to stalk and harass her. Ex-girlfriend number 1 said after the breakup during their relationship, Logan had dragged her out of her car by her hair. Ex-girlfriend still fears Logan. Ex-girlfriend has had no contact with Logan in approximately 2 years. Told investigators that Logan had told her in the past that he would unalive her and no one would find her. During her March 8th, 2017 interview, ex-girlfriend said that she knew Logan carried a gun everywhere he went. Ex-girlfriend knew that Logan would carry this in a fanny pack, which is interesting. Ex-girlfriend described Logan's fanny pack as one made out of nicer material. During her March 8th, 2017 interview, ex-girlfriend number 1 told law enforcement that she saw the photo of the man on the bridge. She thought the police were looking for Logan because she thought that photograph was Logan. Ex-girlfriend 1 did not initially realize the photograph was that of the suspect. A call placed using Logan's cell phone produced cell tower data that show Logan's cell phone appears to be in or around his property on February 13th, 2017 at 2:09 p.m. Although his exact location cannot be confirmed, the tower data shows Logan's cell was in the Delphi area in the area of the Monon High Bridge Trail. The analysis of Logan's cell data revealed a text message sent from his phone at 7:56 p.m., February 13th, 2017. Initial exam of his analysis indicates Logan's phone was likely outside his residence in the proximity of where the girls were located. I don't know, guys. I don't know how that works. An analysis of Logan's cell phone data revealed a message received by his phone at 10:16 p.m., February 13th. Initial exam of this analysis indicates Logan's phone was outside of his residence and in the proximity where the girls were. Logan met law enforcement on February 17th while they were on his property. Logan was physically able to get up and down the hill from his home to the crime scene, redacted female 2. On March 14th, 2017, Logan's former housemate, redacted female, was interviewed. She resided with Logan from September 2016 through December 2016. She was in an relationship with Logan on and off for approximately 3 years. Ew. Ew. During the interview with law enforcement, she said that when she first learned of the girls and that they were missing and then found unalived on Ron Logan's property, she initially thought Logan was involved. She said in her interview she feared Logan and even previously told her baby's father that if she ever ended up deceased, Logan did it. You know, it's really, really hard not to keep this stuff floating around in your brain a little bit, isn't it? March 14th, she explained in her interview that Logan had been violent with her in the past. She explained that on July 4th, 2016, while at Logan's home, he punched her in the face, knocking her down. She explained that she was drinking, but Logan was completely sober during the incident. She also explained that Logan was angry because she disrespected Logan while in Logan's home. February 13th, 2017. Libby's family began searching the area of the trail where the girls were initially dropped off, beginning shortly after 3 p.m. Libby's family and other community members joined the search shortly thereafter. Carroll County Sheriff's Office was notified at approximately 5:30 p.m. that the girls were missing. Once the search for the girls began, no one reported seeing any person matching the description of the male on the bridge. The FBI has established a database for the collection and organization of tips provided by the public. In this case, a search of the database has revealed 15 tips in which citizens, both known and anonymous, attributed the crime to Logan for various reasons. Based on the above aforementioned facts, Logan was in the area at the crime scene during the crime occurred, and that he provided false information about his activities during the crime to law enforcement and his prior propensity for violence, employed others to assist in deceiving law enforcement, and plotted an alibi for a crime that had not yet been discovered. This is the thing. Based on the information or aforementioned facts, I believe there is probable cause to believe Ronald Logan has committed the crime, and deleting and evidence of that could be found in Ronald Logan's property or on. The affiant requests a warrant to search Ronald Logan's entire property, located at redacted North Delphi, Indiana, described as a white 2-story single-family dwelling, including his detached garage, outbuildings, vehicles, and a white Ford F-250 bearing the VIN number for evidence related to the passing of Abby and Libby on the following property. Any and all evidence pertaining to the deleting includes clothes, forensic evidence, DNA, and all evidence pertaining to the deleting. Seen and unseen hair, bodily fluids, seen and unseen fibers, weapons, including guns and cutting instruments, electronic devices used to produce the cellular signals detected by law enforcement in the area of the crime scene. And then again, all the computers and stuff that we read earlier. Records, documents, and correspondence containing information about the crime scene, or any individual involved in the crime. Any and all tablet phones, any computer data, everything we had gone over, basically. I affirm under penalty of perjury as specified in that the foregoing representations are true. And this is Nicole Robertson, FBI. So I don't know. I think she's got an idea about what she's talking about. Makes, you know what I mean? Like, hi, Chihuahua. What the hell, Ron Logan? So what I want to do, and we'll see how this goes. I think we need to bomb around. All righty. Everybody there? And off we go. So this is Ron Logan's property, as best as it can be, right? So his home is right up here. And Abby and Libby were found down here by the river. This is where you've seen everybody in the water looking for anything tangled up. We do know that there was in one spot, there was a shoe, there was a shirt, and well, I guess we're going to say allegedly because this information is not necessarily coming straight from them, but allegedly this is where a lot of the stuff was. And the bridge is right here. I don't think it'll let me get there. No, it won't. So we'll do it this way. Crossing the bridge. And then we're already off the bridge. And then he says, go down the hill. Down, down, down the hill. So he made them cross the water. Go back up there. So he made them cross this water to get back to the other side. So we're going to just don't pay attention to this one quite yet because we're not sure where that's going to end up yet. But basically, whoever did this just went a little bit out of sight, right? And they were found right in here somewhere. They weren't 50 feet, I think, from, was it feet or yards from the bank of the river? So they weren't drug actually too far in, or walked probably too far in. So I can't, unless something was done directly on a property, this property, I don't think it would be over here because you're not going to walk them across the creeks. As far as I'm concerned, if someone's going to take them off the property and then bring them back, is because that person needed to get them out of their possible house, shed, you know, whatever it could be, garage, whatever it might be. Is it timing you guys out? I'm going to close up a couple things. I'm going to close up a couple things, see if that helps us with hopefully that works so it doesn't time out anymore. So from the bridge down the hill, somewhere they've crossed over. And now did they walk straight through here and just cross over there because it looks fairly shallow? You know, it's very close to sandbars. And we know in February, it's not as high as it usually. It's the beginning of the season. The snow's melting. But I'm not seeing a lot of snow in this area. Okay. So the bridge, last known location of Abby's and Libby, the video footage taken on this bridge at 2:07. Libby posted a photo of Abby walking the bridge. They were reported missing at 5:30 p.m. after they failed to meet Libby's dad. So taken right from there, you see, and they did not have all that far to walk. Okay, off, and they're straight onto the path. Straight on, and it's basically a straight shoot. Doot, 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 doot. And off you go. And the cops paid very, very close attention to Ron Logan, didn't they? So who do you guys think who do you think would take them away from the area and then actually bring them back and place them there? Does that make any sense whatsoever? And what's creepy is look at how close this all is to Delphi. These guys are so close, you know? And they're used to Libby's grandparents lived in the country. Like, get in there, they swing around, they drop off the kids. So they're trying to tell us that possibly the guy that did this parked here. It makes no sense, does it? That they would park there. But doesn't make sense where he would park at the cemetery, a spot that's not usually, they don't get a lot of visits. So you park there. Now, if you look at that, let's just say the person parked and it wasn't Ron Logan. Look at how fast of a getaway that is. Straight up. And I mean, it's close. It's very close. And the trees are not full of leaves and the grass is kind of cut down. Nothing's growing. So, I mean, let's go back to Richard Allen because he's the one sitting in the hoosegow for this. That makes sense if we want to look at him. Boom. It also makes sense if you want to look at Ronald Logan, because if you've done something, you don't want them in your house. You don't want them in your property. So take them down to the river. And I'm sure, he was so close to Crown land and this property, which probably Crown, right? The only reason they looked is because he's a strange guy and they're on his property. So, yeah, there was cops all up and down here. Same thing as this. We've got the footage, I think it was yesterday or the day before. All the cop cars parked here. I mean, I guess it's the perfect way to get to those kids as well. But it was packed full of cops. So with what I'm learning, I'm going to have to continue this because I do not have Ron Logan. To me, he's still sus. I'm sorry. To me, he's still sus. Rest in peace. He shouldn't be a patsy. But I mean, if he has anything to do with this, just because he's passed, doesn't mean you shouldn't look into him, No, you don't want them on your property. But, there's also a good chance that he didn't know that it was on his property still. But he's so close. Yes. They said that more than once, that they had located them in Deer Creek. That was the first things that started to go around. I wanted to say that the blue shape on the map is supposed to be Ron Logan's property line. However, I made that map so that I can outline it. Yeah, absolutely. Yep, we kind of went through that this morning, that it wasn't exact. But no, you don't want them on your property, but you definitely don't want them in your house. And if you got cops crawling all over the place, what you gonna do? I don't know if they've even had cadaver dogs up there. And I don't know if cadaver dogs could still do their job, but I think so. Okay. Take away the location of them. What evidence is there? Well, I think one thing would be that he made an alibi for the time that the girls went missing before they were found. They hadn't been found yet. But in the morning, he got in touch with a cousin and said, listen, can you tell them that you took me to buy these fish during this time? if you get asked. And the cousin's like, okay. So why is he lying about where he was at? If he didn't lie about driving to the dump, they got him on camera. If he didn't say to his cousin, can you say you drove me there? Then why is he saying that morning before the girls were found, that he was not around the day before, that he was with this cousin during the time the girls went missing? And then he's got a receipt for something like 520 or something in his house. Well, that receipt means nothing now because it's only a half hour away from his house. So there are also pings that the cops say are him in the right spot. But I don't know how that works. I'm not law enforcement, and I don't know how all these pings go. Oh, thanks for being here, Shauna. Big hugs, my friend. Big hugs. Have a great day. Candace, they didn't have the dogs for search. They got called off. Is that right, friend? Do we know who called them off? Later, Shauna. Stay good out there, Shauna. Okay. Welcome, welcome. So, no dogs. Oh my, why would they not have dogs? I gotta check that out, Candace. The name is literally escaping me. Maybe it was one of the conditions he wasn't supposed to be in that area. From what I've learned, it just sounds like he wanted I don't know. He just wanted somebody to back him up saying he was not in the area when this happened, basically. No, they needed those dogs. Is that right, friend? I think the dogs are from Michigan and it would take too long for them to get there. Already found the girls. But then you know what? We need oh, was that picked up on the scanner, James? Whoa. Yeah. Hey, Kathy. That's just crazy. Yeah, good reminder. Thank you. Thank you. It was either weather conditions or travel distance. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I wonder if we can find some of that. Yeah. But what if how do you feel about him possibly being part of a group? All good. We like that, Kathy. All good. Welcome. So, yeah, it is just as much as a person. I mean, I know he's deceased and I know all that. It's just he was someone that we had to kind of take a look at. There's a few different things that are absolutely sus with him that I cannot figure out for the life of me as to why he would do some of this stuff. I'm really disappointed that Ellie has never taken dogs back out, because how do you do this and not follow a scent? You know what I mean? Like, this is oh my God. Yeah. But he's passed away. Yeah, he passed away in 2022. That's what I'm thinking, James. That's what I'm thinking. Ron Logan, Keegan Kline, and Tony Kline. And that's where my head's going. Oh my word, Kathy, isn't that the truth? It has just thrown us for a loop. That's why we're kind of going back to the beginning and looking at who they were looking at. See if we can find any new names to be chasing. Yeah, but if he unalived them at his house and then carried him down the hill, wouldn't they have smelt that? And if he unalived him and would he have decomp on his person? I don't know how that works. Oh, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Again, the only way we have even a chance in my mind of making any sense of the mess that council made is to look back. Right? So I think who we'll talk about tomorrow is probably going to be Keegan Kline. Okay, let me see here if there's anything else. Okay, not that. I just want to make sure there's nothing else I want to look at for you guys. Okay, well, we've looked at that. Okay, we've looked at this. Any other questions? Anything else you guys can think of off the top of your head that you would like to be looking at before I close things up? I'm totally disturbed that they didn't take the time for these girls. Wait, stop. Okay. What would you like to see, Chopper? I'm in. Wait, stop. I know. It is. It's cray cray, guys. Oh my goodness. Let's see here. Was he? What? Just a little off topic, but let's go there for a second, guys. Zachary Bryan from Home Improvement was arrested for armed robbery. He was the cute little kid too. What? Like, wasn't he the saucy little guy? How can KK not be involved? He puts himself there. This is it. Do you know what? They found nada. Nada. It was the eldest son? Okay. Brutal. Brutal. The less popular one. So did I. Oh my God, this world, eh? Yeah, they either found nothing or they've kept it under wraps. Absolutely. Yeah. And I can't find, I mean, I was document digging, and I'm still document digging, to be honest with you. I just don't, there's too many unanswered questions. Yeah. And let's see, like, as far as any kind of updates. Yeah, he got sentenced for 2 years for that traffic infraction. Let's just see if this is anything I think that we don't know. Police would eventually arrest Logan for violating his probation on charges of DUI and driving on a suspended license. He appeared in court March 13th on that charge, and he ended up getting 2 years. However, in a search warrant filed 3 days later, March 17th, FBI wrote, "I believe there is probable cause to believe that Ronald Logan has committed this crime, and evidence can be found on his property." But yeah, we have not. But I am finding it interesting that they are saying a large amount of blood was lost by the victims at the crime scene. So was there none, like we're hearing now, just from Libby? Or was it this horror show that we've been hearing all along? So again, we do want to say this. Logan has never been publicly named as a suspect in Abby and Libby's passings. He has also not been charged in any way with this case. And he died on January. Oh my God. Why people drive like that when we got deer all over the roads? Smack them. So let's see here. Yeah, was there a large... They're saying right at the scene. They're saying right at the crime scene there was a large amount. Which is contradictory to what they're saying now, isn't it? When they started in with all this odinous stuff. Just don't see it, eh, James? What about Keegan Kline? Do you think he could be in there? So he got 40 years. I said 30 years yesterday. 40. You're the same, Kathy? So do you guys think in any way Keegan Kline, Tony Kline, let's just say even with Richard Allen, do you think that somehow those guys... Yeah, that's a good question too, Chopper. Yeah, that's a great question. Nope, 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 and oh, nope. Okay. Yeah, I cannot take him out of that either. Now, Ron Logan, I'm iffy about at this point. I had him, I mean, trust me, I had him totally out of my mind. Yeah. Yeah, the cops did. We'll go through his paperwork tomorrow, and it's long. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. The cops came up with this Odinist thing, or the defense, I guess, at the time. Oh, you bet. The ice cream man, the lollipop dude. Oh, lollipop guild. Yeah, that's the thing. There is a lot on him, and yet he still is avoiding charges on this. If they're eyeing him up still, I don't know, because they don't say much, right? Are they still eyeing him up? I'm not sure. Has he spilled his guts? I would think he has. I would really, really think. The footnotes of the Odin report is where to read. Defense ran with you. They did, yeah. I think I've got in the playlist, we go through all of that report. There's quite the playlist for this Delphi case. He's a dirty wrongin', that Keegan Klein whale whale-shaped deviant. Which they're saying they found. They're saying they found this Purdue professor. Purdue. Yep. Cops had interviewed him, had him write a report, but somehow lost it. And then, let's do it. And then they found it again. There's too much resistance coming from LE. That's how I feel. I'm not quite sure why, but there's too much resistance. So we went over the probable cause yesterday. Most of the stuff, well, did we go over I'll have to double check. We had a good look at Richard Allen yesterday and some of the other stuff that's been going on. So today is basically Richard Allen, or sorry, not Richard Allen, Ron Logan. And then tomorrow, I was thinking about maybe going through the transcript that Keegan gave to the cops. It's full of all sorts of information. He does talk about things that we think. Yeah, they would. They would. So I'm thinking about the transcripts of him talking to the cops about this case. So I'll do him. If I've got time, I'll fit Tony in there as well. And if I don't do Tony with him, I'll do Tony with something else. Oh yeah, the penguin. The penguin. Absolutely. Yes. Yes, James. Okay, guys. So with that said, thanks very much for hanging out with me. I appreciate all of you. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done it. Hit that thumb on your way out. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.